Hello everybody, this is Stephen Howson. This is the Warm Down Podcast, and as always, like my content for the whole of this month, is brought to you by the One Football app. So make sure you check out the One Football app. The link is in the description below. This is the place where you can go for all of your news around the world, and now you can start to see some of the stats that's in here for the Premier League. So you need to be checking these ones out because Manchester United are now top of the league. You can go and find out all the details of what happened in and around the game. You can check it out for fixtures, get it on alerts for any time that there's some sort of breaking news happening in the world of football. You've got Manchester United stuff, you've got all the news from around the world of football. You can see it for fixtures, you can see competition breakdowns, you can see all sorts of stuff. Trust me, this app is absolutely fantastic, getting lots of good feedback from all of you guys as well, so thank you. If you like the app, let me know in the comments below. They're sponsoring me, they're supporting me for this whole month, so please go and give them support. It's a free app, get it downloaded, get alerts turned on, find out what's going on in the world of football. It's usually quicker than every other app that I've got out there for football news too, so make sure you get the notifications turned on and find out what is going on. On to today's guest, we're joined by Rants and Bants, aka Deano, if you know him as Deano, and we have a real good natter about Manchester United and a little bit of a slagging off about City and Pep Guardiola as well. Check it out. Hello everybody and welcome to this edition of the Warm Down. Delighted as always to be joined by a guest, and today's guest is Rants. You will know him from Facebook, and got a little bit political over the summer, but you know what, I enjoyed it. We're here to talk about the football though, and Manchester United is what we're going to be talking about, and our victory over, nearly said Swansea then, that's next week, West Ham this weekend was absolutely brilliant. It was breathtaking, it was old school United, it was mega, wasn't it mate? You enjoyed that?
It was beautiful, man. I don't think I've enjoyed a game. The closest I got to enjoying watching United play probably since Fergie left was the Leicester game last season. And I was buzzing. Like some of the goals, like Matter's goal was crazy. Do you know what I mean? And I remember that game, I'm just thinking, what? Pogba scored, like everything was just going right. And then after that, we just went to shit, mate. Do you know? But literally, yesterday was just, I don't think I've enjoyed a game that much, man, to be honest. It was crazy.
The only thing that could have topped it would have been a Lukaku hat-trick.
Exactly, man. And to be fair, I thought he had it as well when the shot got blocked. So,
yeah, literally every single person stood around me as he lined up for that, went hat-trick. And then it got dropped down, and everyone was more arsed about him. You could see the rest of the team actually trying to set him up and trying to play him through towards the end. Not a bad debut though, was it?
He's different class, but I've been telling people, the thing is, like being a striker, it's not just about scoring goals. He does score goals, but you see what he gives us? Like I was saying today, I don't think since a young Rooney, because Louis Saha didn't stay fit enough, just the pace and the power. Like there was one point yesterday where he picked up the ball just inside our half, touched the ball like 5 yards, and just carried the ball like 20 yards up the pitch and just took all the pressure off us. We ain't really had that. Do you know what I mean? RVP didn't have the pace in behind. All of these guys wanted it into feet. He can, like, the guy just literally carried the team 20, 30 yards up the pitch on his own. Do you know what I mean? And it just gives us a different option, man.
That counter-attack, you saw it a lot with Everton, and I think we saw it 2 or 3 times yesterday where we look to break and he picks the ball up around the halfway line in a channel and just bombs forward at goal with it. And he's got the strength to carry someone away, to keep them away, just hold an arm off and keep them away. He's got the pace to be able to get round the back of someone. In fact, we saw it against United last season. I think he absolutely tatered Rojo on the halfway line. Got in all the way across the back, and then Baye come across and slid and blocked his shot. Otherwise, it was an on-target shot. Who knows what would have happened? But yeah, I mean, we've seen him do it against us. We've now started seeing him doing it for us. And I think the stuff that Lukaku does, his heading, his hold-up play, his link-up play, at times I don't think it's on the level of what Zlatan does, but what he offers you in that extra dimension is that speed to get away, to turn on the halfway. And I do think he offers other stuff that Zlatan doesn't as a 35, 36-year-old. Yeah. I think he's probably better than Zlatan right now. I think you could easily, obviously he's basically retired, isn't he? But I think you could easily say that he's a higher level of footballer right now than what Zlatan offers you. His finishing alone last season was twice as good statistically. You know, if we'd have had Lukaku's strike rate for Zlatan, I think he'd have scored like 40, 50 goals.
Yeah, definitely. I just think Rom just gives us, he gives us something that I don't know any other striker in the game that's got it, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? He's 6'4", he's rapid, He's absolutely rapid. When they picked up the top speeds on the pitch, he picked up one of the top speeds on the pitch.
Hang on, how the fuck did Pogba get joint top speed though? That guy looks like he's just running for the first time in his life. He looks like he's trying on legs for someone, doesn't he? He doesn't look like he's a efficient runner.
It's because he's got long legs and he's got a great stride. If you look how he runs, it's really elegant and it doesn't look like he's trying very hard, but he's moving. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like, Lukaku's rapid. His hold-up play is great. Everyone talks crap about his touch, but 9 times out of 10, you can't get the ball off him, mate. He holds it. If there's nothing on, he'll put his arm out, he'll back into someone, and then he'll face it up. And he's got a quick give and go in him as well. Like, he's a smart player. He's just awkward, man. Like, how do you defend against him? If you give him room, he can dribble and he can go past you. If you get tight on him, he'll roll you. Do you know what I'm saying? And then we saw
Daley Blind have a really top game against him against Everton a couple of seasons ago, where he properly pocketed Lukaku.
He did.
It might not have just been him on his own though. I think if you stop the supply to Lukaku, you can stop him when he's at Everton. You can't do that at United, because if you double up on Lukaku, Pogba's going to hurt you, or Mkhitaryan's going to hurt you, or Rashford's going to hurt you, and that's the sort of side that we're building. You know, we aren't Everton. We're better than Everton, but we're not the Real Madrid yet. You might stop Ronaldo, you're not stopping Benzema. If you stop Benzema and Ronaldo, Bale's going to get you. You've got to have those multiple options, so when people start blanketing you, you've got to be able to pop up with something else. And I think that's the sort of side that we're assembling at the moment. Pretty scary looking and nice to see, actually.
On him, you still got Marcus to deal with. You still got Mickey to deal with. You still got Pogba to deal with. Like, yesterday was just... It was frightening, man. And then to think I was screaming, I was like, the only thing that I would have loved is I love Martial on the left. For me, I like Rashford on the left, but the thing is, there's just a star quality that Tony has, man. When he's got the ball at his feet, it's close to him, and he goes down the line. Marcus doesn't go down the line, he likes to come inside. Like Tony,
he's right-footed, isn't he?
Yeah. So is Tony, but Tony will take you down the line. Do you know what I mean? He go past you on the outside. Do you know what I mean? And I think he just gives us something different, man. And you've seen his composure. The one thing that Marcus needs to work on is his composure. I think he gets a bit excited sometimes. You know what I mean? Tony's just ice cold in front of goal, man. Like, head up, side foot, bottom corner every time. Like, as soon as he's through on goal, I knew it was in.
Well, look at the finishing style of Martial, and then look at the shots that Rashford took yesterday. Yeah. He twatted them. He absolutely levered them. Like the one that just went straight across the goal. Like, if there hadn't been a stand there to catch it, that shit had still been flying.
It's true. It's true.
A couple of seasons ago, I wrote an article about Rashford. And I wrote, I think it was called The Class of 2016. And in there, I had Angel Gomez, Fosu Mensah, Tuanzebe, Gribbin, and Rashford. And they've all now made the first team debuts apart from Gribbin. Yeah. And in there, I said, Rashford, I love the intensity of him. I love the determination. I love his energy and his attitude. But he gets into these goal-scoring positions and he doesn't have the composure to finish his chances. Now, that made me look a twat, because for the last year and a half, he's been burying chances that have been unbelievable finishes with unbelievable composure. Look at the goal against City. Look at that goal against West Ham. Look at the Arsenal and Midtjylland stuff. Ultimate composure. But I thought yesterday was not him reverting back to the player that he was in the academy, because he's levels ahead of where he was now. But it was that finishing, that one aspect of his game. It was exactly the same as what we used to see when he was in the academy, where he would break into these crazy positions through his speed and his determination and then fucking balloon it over the bar. And you think, I'm not sure how he now regains that composure or what it is that he does. I don't know if Zlatan maybe has to have a word with him, or even Lukaku, because Lukaku's finishing. The goal he scored yesterday, the first one, I paused it. I watched the replay and I paused it, because when I saw it live, I thought, I think he only had the near post to go at there because of the position of Hart. And then I paused it as he's hit it, and Hart's got the whole opposite side of the goal covered. Unless he megs him, which he's going to be well hard. Yeah. He's only got to go for the near post. And the only angle he's got is to basically bang it in off the post, which is what he does. And he doesn't always twat it, Lukaku. He's got a real gentle finish most of the time. And I think Marcus needs to learn that. And Martial could help him too, actually.
Yeah, he'll round the keeper as well, man. Like, I find the top finishers, they know when to finish. Do you know what I mean? They know when to go round the keeper. Cole and York used to do it all the time. Sometimes you nutmeg the keeper. Sometimes you dink him. You don't just twat it all the time. And that was my criticism of Jamie Vardy. I think he's pony, mate. Like, he snatches at everything. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to be delicate with it. And with Martial, like the guy's just a finisher. Whereas Rashford, I don't know, man. Like everyone, obviously, he's one of our own, and everyone's a lot more like patient with him and that. But like when I analyze the games of the two of them, Martial looks a lot more polished to me. Do you know what I mean? Like he looks really polished. Rashford more looks like he's playing in the playground, man. Sometimes he does silly things. Like there was a ball, Lukaku played a great ball into him, and he could have just controlled it normally, and he tried to flick it, and then the touch was shit. And then you find like last season, I was at the game against Reading in the League Cup, and he had an absolute stinker before he scored. Like everything he did was just, it was crazy. He missed a few one-on-ones. His first touch was a bit all over the place. Like I guess it's because he's young. He's so inconsistent at the moment. But when he's at the top of his game, like the shot he took yesterday that come off the inside of the post, had that gone in, that goal would have been unreal, mate. And he does that. Like you see about 3 Rashfords in one game within 60 minutes. And I think with age, that will go away. But I don't.
He's still a teenager.
He's never going to be prolific. I think similar to Danny Welbeck as well. Welbeck scored great goals and that, but he's never going to be prolific, man. I think Tony can be prolific if he plays week in, week out, because he just knows where the goal is, man. I think his goal against, was it Stoke last season? No, was it Southampton actually? Top corner, mad counter attack, and he's taken it on the outside of his boot from the left and whipped it into the top corner. I think Rooney pinged it across to him, and like he's got that in his locker all day, man. Out of the two, finishing, absolutely Tony, man.
I don't think there's many that I disagree with you on the attributes of them in that final third. You would say Martial, better quality footballer, but do you think there's other aspects of his game that Rashford's doing mentality-wise that Martial's not? Because it's got to be.
The aspect that I think Jose trusts Rashford defensively more than Tony at the moment. Because if I was playing them both, I'd play Rashford down the middle and I'd play Tony on the left. I just think that his touch and the way he goes past people is a bit more neat. Sometimes the ball gets away from Rashford, and maybe Rashford's better receiving the ball into space. Do you know what I mean? So whereas Tony likes it to feet and he can hold it and he can turn. So they're very different players. I think they just get compared a lot because of their age groups, really. But they're very, very different players, man.
Well, massively different. Well, at 18, Martial was first team for Monaco. As he started at 18, Rashford was first choice for our under-18s.
Yeah.
And his rise has been rapid, and I think we've got to remember February last year, man, 16 months ago, he was average in the academy. He wasn't one of the players where, like Fosu Mensah and Angel Gomez, where you're like, fuck me, get this kid in the first team. He wasn't like that. He was one of the players where you go, as a good player. And that's it. Like, just he's a good player. Nobody expected him to take the step that he took and take it in his stride the way he took it. And now go on to play the most appearances for Jose Mourinho. Like, no one would have had money on that. I remember having debates at the start of the season on Full-Time Devils about whether Rashford should go on loan. Is he going to be back in the under-23s? And then you're like, all right, he's part of the first team squad. Is he going to play him? And then, fuck me, he makes more appearances than anybody else, including David Day. And you're like, wow. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happened.
I think that's down to his application, though. You can tell he's similar to Ronaldo, man, in the sense that guy trains his ass off. It's obvious. Like, you just seen his body change as well, like, within the last 12 months. He's bulked up. Do you know what I mean? You got the kid on set pieces now. Like, you can tell he's practicing, and he's practicing. And I think maybe that's what the manager loves more about him than maybe Tony. Whereas I think Tony's got that bit more arrogance and swagger about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe like the manager probably prefers Marcus, man. But I don't know. Like, that's the only thing about that team. Like, when we played, I reckon if Martial was on that left-hand side instead of Rashford, like, I reckon it could have been 8, mate. That's how bad it is, because he just toast guys, man. Like, 9 times out of 10, if he's got the ball at his feet, he's beating you, Martial. Like, it's ridiculous. And he gets his head up and he'll pick out a pass, man. And he does it all the time. So I just think it's so exciting for us. Like, I keep telling people, when you look at the ages of Rashford and Martial, like, we're Manchester United. If we're going to be a super club like we're meant to be, on the levels of the Munichs, the Real Madrids and the Barcelonas, how many teenagers play for them now? Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, unless you're
none, yeah.
fucking Messi, you're not playing, bruv. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Unless you're like a proper worldie, you're not playing at that level of club. So when you look at these two, really, if we're where we're meant to be, these two probably ain't meant to be getting in the team. Do you know what I'm saying? And so it's testament to them. But also, when people are like, oh, Martial's going to be unhappy that he's not playing because, bro, he's at Manchester United and he's fucking 20 years old, man. If he was at Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Bayern Munich, he's not fucking playing, is he? Neither is Rashford. So if they both sit on the bench, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. Same with Luke Shaw. He's still a young kid. If he's not playing, so what? It's not the end of the world. When you're playing at clubs at that level, at that age, you need to know where you are. The only place you can go is backwards from United, the Munichs, the Real Madrids. It's as simple as that. So I think that our squad, it bodes well. People say if you get another winger in, Martial's gone, or Rashford, or it's going to hamper their progression. No, it won't. Simple.
I like the idea of bringing in a Perisic or someone on the right-hand side that's a proper dribbling, creative winger. Not what we've got, because at the moment we've got, on the left-hand side, you've got Rashford and you've got Martial, and they're wide forwards. They don't come inside to create for you. They're coming inside to bang one in the top corner themselves. That's what they're doing. On the right-hand side, you've got two more assister-type players. They're wide forwards or number 10s that we play out wide that are coming in to create in Mata and Mkhitaryan. And it's unfortunate that you've got those two players that are doing it on the right-hand side that are always coming in to create, and those two players on the left-hand side that are always coming in to do it themselves. If we had one of each on each side, we'd have so much fucking balance. And I think it's the lack of balance at the moment that really hinders us. And someone who can throw a cross in on a regular basis, I think that's just something different. When you've got someone the size and ability and attributes that you've got with Lukaku, you've got to have someone who can do what Beckham did and just from nothing just go fucking have one of them in the box and see what happens. And I think with Lukaku, with Mata or Mkhitaryan ghosted in as well, and with Rashford to pick up the scraps, someone who's going to put the balls in from a little bit further away, I think is a massive asset. Because when we're trying to run it through the middle all the time, when teams are sitting there with a back nine like you did with West Ham, it can't be done sometimes. There's just not enough room, so you've got to go over the top. And I think that's the option that we're lacking a little bit. And I think the squad's very deep and very strong at the moment. I just think it lacks a couple of specialist guys. And I think Perisic, you don't see him sign for Barcelona, but you know what? I think what we've got is different. And I would fancy our chances against Barcelona this year. They look all over the fucking place, don't they? If we drew them in the Champions League, I'd be rubbing my fucking hands together.
Absolutely. I think Barca are done. I think people underestimated actually how important Neymar was to MSN. Because if you look at him, Messi might get a hat-trick, but Neymar's getting 4 assists in a game. Do you know what I mean? He's probably the least selfish out of all of them. And, it's mad. Now he's gone, they're going to struggle. You can't replace a Neymar. You can't. There's no one out there. You know what I mean? Who are they going to sign? Unless they sign Ronaldo, which ain't happening. You can't replace Neymar. You can't. So they're going to struggle, absolutely. PSG still won't really do fuck all in the Champions League. They never do. But literally, I think Barca, their dominance is over. I think they've had their cycle now, mate. Real Madrid will go on to dominate now for a while in the Champions League and probably in La Liga as well. So,
do you think they can do 3 on a bounce in the Champions League?
If anyone can do it, they can, man. Honestly, when you look at their squad and the fact that they haven't sold anyone and they don't need to, they've got another year together, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And the squad's good enough, and they're all in their prime age. Ronaldo doesn't seem to be aging anyway. So
there's no one. Yeah, there's no one that you're like, it's his last season, isn't it? You're like,
Modric, Toni Kroos, all these guys. Casemiro, all of these guys, man. Marcelo, probably one of the best left backs I've seen in my life. The guy's ridiculous, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. You got the Ramos, you got Varane. You just look at the squad. 1 to 15. These guys are all in their prime, or they haven't hit their prime yet. So I can see them winning it again. I don't see why not.
It wouldn't be mad after we've gone 24, 25 years of Champions League in this format, and it's not been repeated. No one's managed to win it back-to-back. We came close, Ajax came close. I think someone else has come close as well. Juventus, I think, might have had back-to-back finals, but they lost the second one. Real Madrid go and make it 2, which I thought was almost impossible the way it was going. To make it 3, though, what a fucking dynasty, and what a fucking job Zinedine Zidane's done. Because as he was coming into this, I was reading up that he didn't really manage the B team when he was the B team manager. He just sort of fucked about, and he wasn't really involved in it. But when you see the difference that he made after taking over from, not the bestest coach in the world in Rafa Benitez, but you're talking about an experienced guy that knows what he wants, that knows how to set a team up, if nothing else. and he had that Real Madrid team looking bang average. Not shit, you can't ever say that team looks shit, but really fucking average. And then he takes over, he goes on some crazy, either unbeaten or winning streak, I can't remember which one it was. Takes him to the Champions League final. I think there was that. Are we in his third season now? Did he lose a final in his first one? I can't fucking remember what he did. But either way, he's absolutely fucking smashed it for a super inexperienced manager. I've got to take my hat off. I was well wrong about Zidane as a manager. He's clearly a fucking good manager. Winning back-to-back. He shows tactical fluidity as well. He's not married to one system, which I think is what lets a lot of the fucking managers down.
But that's why he's the guy for me. And obviously you can tell he played in Italy as well. Do you know what I mean? And he's got that about him, man. If he needs to shut up shop, he'll do it. Like, he's not afraid. Like, tactically, you can see. Sometimes he'll play a 3, he'll play a 4. Like, he knows what he's doing. And the thing is, the players respect him. Like, I've seen, like, Marcelo and all them guys say, yo, if there's odd numbers, Zidane jumps in training. Like, they got so much respect for him that literally them guys are willing to just do whatever he tells them to do. And I think that's the difference between him and a Pep. Like, with Pep, it's more like either you love him or you hate him. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas everyone seems to just love and respect Zidane, man. Like, you get just as much players talking shit about Pep as you do praising him, man. Like, he'll go by not talking to players. You saw what he done to Yaya Toure. He had him in the reserves. He got rid of Joe Hart. That ended up, even though Joe Hart's rubbish, yeah, like, it come back to bite him in the end. He bought a useless goalkeeper, then he's gone and bought another one. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, he's a strange one, man. I think all the adulation that he gets, like 90% of it he doesn't deserve anyway. But
do you think he sees this season out at City if they don't win anything?
Absolutely not. He's gone, mate. He was talking about retirement last year. He's a clown. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't want this job. Let's be honest. Like, he probably said, you know what, this is my last big payday. I'm gonna take it. When he got linked with us, I didn't want him. I said I wanted Jose. I always said I wanted Jose, and it's funny, man. Pep.
Gigs.
I did not want gigs, man. I'm telling you. The only thing about gigs is, you know what? If you're ruthless enough to shag your brother's missus, yeah, then you know what? Like, you've definitely got the temperament for United.
Yeah, he's gonna fucking crawl, climb, fucking fight anything that needs to fucking come near him. Innit? Yeah, that's pretty fucking ruthless. Fair play.
But no, I think Pep's a fraud, man. I've been saying it. And the thing is, if you can go into that Bayern Munich team and not win the Champions League, and not only did he not win it, he got turned over by his old team. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
with the tactics that he created.
But there you go. Like, what? So what? You've not got the antidote for what you created, supposedly. Do you know what I mean? He gets a lot of credit for a lot of stuff that the Dutch brought to Barcelona a long time ago. He didn't revolutionise football, man. Do you know what I'm saying? He just done something that everyone else was doing there with better players. Lionel Messi was born. That's what happened. Do you know what I mean?
And the way I will criticise City for this, because people was talking. Actually, I won't criticise City for this. I'll criticise City fans for this. Because City fans was talking about United's style of play last season. I'm like, listen, dickheads, you've had a discernible identity, or a football identity, for about 6 months, right? So don't fucking think that you guys have invented pretty football. And to be honest, passing it around between your goalkeeper and centre-half, what City did last season, they didn't hold it like... That great Barcelona team, they held possession between Busquets and Iniesta and Xavi. They held possession in midfield, and then it went forward from there. This City team are holding it with John Stones and Otamendi, and that's why when they fuck up, they get caught out. That's not a good style of football for me. I would rather be way more direct with the ball than boring the piss out of everyone. And that was the criticism from Bayern Munich fans about Pep as well, that he was boring, that he didn't take on a treble winning side and make them better. And if you look at Barcelona, and you look at, in fact, let's throw it on United, right? Let's look at Sir Alex Ferguson. Before Fergie came in, we was finishing 3rd and 4th with Ron Atkinson. Fergie came in, he took us down a little bit, and then he took us up and kept us at the top pretty much consistently for 20 years. Yep. Then he retired and we fell off. Royal, and it took us a long time to build back up, and we're still not at the place it was when he left us. We might get there this year. It might be another year before we get there, but it feels like we're going back in the right direction at least. You look at that trajectory of Bayern Munich and Barcelona. People always like to point out that he took them over 18 points adrift in the league. That's because they'd phoned the league in like we did last year. They was going for the Champions League, and we beat them in the semi-final in a fucking tough game where Lionel Messi was already playing, Iniesta was already sick, Xavi was already sick. The basis of the team was already there. Ronaldinho and all them lot Barcelona, that was an unbelievable footballing side prior to Pep coming in. So they was already at this level, right? Now you want to treble with them. That instantly goes up. Can't deny that. Winning a treble's fucking amazing. He then goes. Now, there was no fall-off like when Fergie left. They won another fucking treble.
But that's what I keep telling people. You look at Mourinho, every club that he's ever left have gone to shit straight after he's left.
Kind of, yeah. Madrid have got back up to the top pretty quickly, haven't they?
Up there, but do you know what I'm saying? They offered him the job before they offered Zidane the job. They wanted him back. Do you know what I'm saying? So you look, Rafa couldn't do it like he did it. And that's just how it is. You look,
he's following him everywhere, hasn't
he? Inter Milan disappeared. He won a bloody Champions League with Porto. And he won a bloody treble with them as well. He won the UEFA Cup. What, them guys ain't been nowhere near that since Jose left. Like, he's actually done things that only he's done.
Yeah, back-to-back titles at Chelsea, they've been nowhere near.
There you go. And clubs have missed him when he's left. Everywhere Pep's left, they've continued to do what they did with him.
Yeah, so Bayern Munich, treble. All right, they won back-to-back titles, but fucking hell, mate. I think me and you as a managerial partnership would probably have a good go at winning the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich.
Absolutely, and you got Thomas Müller on the bench if it's not going well, and Douglas Costa, like, it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like playing Football Manager. Like, it's really silly. So I think that City was the first proper job he got, and he showed his true colours last season. He didn't know what he was doing.
But he did exactly what Pellegrini did, with like 200 million plus.
But Pellegrini, actually, statistically, was better than him anyway, and Mancini. Well, I feared Man City more when Mancini was there, to be honest. Like, he had them playing some ruthless football. It wasn't beautiful to watch all the time, but they'll stick six past you. Do you know what I'm saying? And now, he's got square pegs in round holes. He signed 3 bloody fullbacks. He probably won't play them there. He probably play them centre-half and centre-mid or something. He had Kolarov playing centre-back. Do you know what I mean? Like, the guys, I don't know. People call it revolutionary. I call it bloody insane. It doesn't make sense.
Well, where does this myth of him being a great coach come from? Because, like you said, there's half the people who've played under him fucking hate him. Like, Ibrahimovic has got some crazy words to say about him. Half the people like him, obviously, because he was very successful. So where does this myth that he's this amazing fucking coach come from?
It comes from everyone's relationship with the Barcelona side that he coached. And really, they just love Messi. It's not even Pep. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just the Messi factor.
Luis Enrique's win percentage with Barcelona was better than Pep's.
Exactly, but people are in love with what they see. And they put it down to Pep Guardiola. It's not Pep. It was Lionel Messi. Like, he had Lionel Messi at the peak of his powers, man. And he literally put Messi centre stage and said, you can play wherever you want. And he did that. And Messi delivered, man. You know what I mean? The stats prove that. So all this Pep nonsense is ridiculous, man. Like, he's got about 1 million forwards now. Anyway, like, they've spent, nearly 200 million on defence, and they ain't got a decent centre-half at the club. You know what I mean?
I disagree on that. You got Company who's ridiculously good, but he ain't lasting 50 games, is he?
He's knackered, Company, man. Like, Company was like 3-4 years ago. Now he's knackered. Like, his knees have had it. So obviously on his day he's top class, but you know what I mean, his day's not going to come around too often. So like, I have to X him out of there. Otamendi's a liability. John Stones is just a failed defensive midfielder. I don't know what he's playing at. He signed 2 shit goalies. Do you know what I'm saying? So we can't sign keepers either. He paid 50 million for Kyle Walker. Like, he's decent, but he can't cross, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's what I keep telling people. Like, you need a bloody flipping lollipop lady on the right-hand side for Kyle Walker. He still wouldn't cross. He's shocking, mate. Do you know what I mean? Mendy's a decent left-back. I thought, I wouldn't have minded if we got him. He's decent. Bernardo Silva's quality again, but you still got David Silva. You still got De Bruyne. You still got Sane. You still got Sterling. Do you know what I mean? You still got
Aguero and Jesus and... Unless he's going to play one at the back and all the rest of them up front.
And he wants to sign Alexis as well, allegedly. So where they all going to play? This geezer doesn't know what he's doing, mate.
And you've got some egos in that list of players that you've just listed as well. They're going to go 1 or 2 games and be like, nah, fuck this, why am I sitting on the bench? Like, I've not come to City to sit on a fucking bench. And that's where the problems I think that's where the problems are definitely going to start for Pep. Is that he's going to be looking at the bench thinking he's got options, but he's going to be looking at the bench and just seeing problems. Because this guy's going to start kicking off. This guy's agent's a dick. His agent's going to start kicking off. And I don't think he's got the stomach for the fight. I think if you can... Imagine Ryan Giggs had come through Manchester United, won every single thing that he did as a player, taken over the under-23s, proved to be pretty successful there, taken on the first team, won 2 trebles in 3 years... and then quit. Like, I don't get it. And then you come back and go, no, if you're Ryan Giggs, if you're Pep, if you're any of these guys, you've got to build a dynasty of 15, 20 years of doing that shit. And if he's not got the stomach for the fight at his boiled club that he came through the ranks for, that he's a legend at as a footballer, then why is he going to do it for Munich? Then why is he going to do it for City? Why is he going to do it for the club that you've just hired him to do? If he hasn't got a stomach at his own fucking club, like, is he a football man? I mean, does he even like football? Because if you like football, that's what when we look at a team and we look at a manager and we look at all those guys that are on the pitch, we think that they're a fan of our club. And if they're not, you can't fucking stomach them. Because you delude yourself thinking that, they feel the same way I do. And they don't. But it's just something you've got to fucking kid yourself to say, innit? But when you know that he can walk out on his boiled club like it ain't shit, why is he going to stay at City when the going gets tough?
Jose, Pep don't give a shit about City. Everyone knows that. Do you know what I mean? You can see the difference with Mourinho, and you can see the difference with Pep. Like, Pep even came out last season and said, if I was at a decent club, they would have sacked me. Like, who says that? Who the hell says he doesn't give a shit? If I was I would have wanted him out just after that. It was just like when Moyes tried to say that we need to be more like City. I'm telling you, I would have packed his fucking bags for him that night. Do you know what I'm saying? So he doesn't care about Man City. He was talking about retirement halfway through last season. And you've still got 2 years left on your contract. He knows why he went there. For the money, he doesn't care. The thing is, he's not going to build anything there. Hopefully, he can just win something.
Well, he said he's not going to bring any youth through, which is a fucking mega slap in the face. For you, if you're Sheikh Mansour, you've just spent $500 million building this incredible training facility, putting all this investment in and bragging about it, and that the fact you fucking under 8s win stuff. And then your manager, who you've bought that you think's going to build this dynasty at your club, is like, I ain't playing them. Give me more money, I want to buy stuff.
That's it, you're natural, man. You're supposed to be better than Marcus Rashford, now he's playing for Leicester. It's beautiful, isn't it? Like, that's what happens.
Well, when you look around the league and you look at the likes of Josh King smashing it now at Bournemouth, you look at Danny Drinkwater and Danny Simpson picking up Champions medals for Leicester, and you see Danny Welbeck running out there at Arsenal, and you see all of these players, Michael Keane getting big money moves to Everton, and you think that these are all products of Manchester United, and people go, United haven't brought through anything like the class of 92. Like, guess what, dickhead? No one brought anything through like the class of 92. Like, why? Liverpool had less youth player minutes than Genk in the Premier League last season. Than fucking Genk. And why is that not front page news? Because I guarantee if fucking Genk had more first team minutes than United did, that would be fucking questions in Parliament time. There'd be people flipping out about that one. No one gives a fuck. We are the only thing that's news.
People are just their feelings about United. Like, what I keep telling people is, do you know the amount of childhoods that we've ruined? Like, you got to understand, like, people are bitter to the point where, like, there's no logic involved. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of my mates, we grew up in a time where it was Arsenal United. That's all it was. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, the Liverpool game was big, but Arsenal United was just like, it was head-to-head every season. More often than not, fucking do them. And it's just like, people were so bitter, man. They got to watch. In their lifetime, they've seen United win a treble, lift a couple Champions League trophies, win everything by a country mile. And people are just bitter to the point where they start talking a whole load of shit. Like, every season, we're always bringing players through. You can look at pretty much 1 in 2 clubs in the Premier League will have a United graduate in there somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? Even when you look at...
West Brom, you got Fletcher, you got Johnny Evans out there. These are all players that are first team, first choice at clubs.
There you go. So people forget.
I bet there's only City and Liverpool that don't have one. Chelsea, maybe. Well, they're trying to sign Danny Drinkwater.
Yep, there you go. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even from the Simpson era and stuff like that, the Fraser Campbells and that, like, these guys have come out and they've played first team Premier League football.
I'm going to check this out now because I think this is worth checking out. I'm going to get the league table up.
Definitely get it up, man. Definitely get it up. And Ryan Shawcross, he improved a lot, man. Like, that was unfortunate as well. Him and Keno.
Huddersfield, don't know if they've got any.
Okay. Is Phil Bardsley still at Leicester?
There's a few at Leicester. They got a group of about 5 or 6 when they first came up, I think. Spurs, don't think they've got any. Arsenal got Welbeck. Burnley, they did have some. All right, I'm not going for every single one. Watford's got Cleverley. Southampton.
We brought in Josh King, but then you've got fucking... If you can add Ben Foster to that as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of fucking United players earning livings after United. And I think that's the legacy of United's academy, whether or not, like, because honestly, it's nice to win the FA Youth Cup, but honestly, who gives a fuck? Like, do you know where the class of '92 lads came in the league in 1992?
Exactly, it's all irrelevant.
They came second, but I know that because I'm a nerd. Like, it don't matter, does it?
Chelsea got a great youth team, but none of their players are playing for the first team. They're getting sold left, right, and centre. So what does it matter what they win? Like, it doesn't mean anything. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, our academy is proven. Like, no one can argue that. And Gomez is mustard, man. To think that he's only 16 is a joke. Do you know what I mean? Gribben's different as well, man. Like,
and there's another lad coming through he's 15 at the moment. He's playing the 18s and he's tearing it up. Mason Greenwood. That's a fucking name that you're definitely going to see. And I think because of his size, because obviously Angel's really small and really lightweight, and the way he plays, he's not quick. He uses his brain. But Mason's got big joints, he's got big knees, big elbows, and big shoulders. He's a skinny lad, but you can see there's a fucking man to grow into. And he's going to be 6'2", I reckon, easily. And he plays... He's obviously not on the same level, but he plays with that sort of early Ronaldo kind of anywhere. You know, he can play 7, 10 or 11. He can play on the left, on the right, down the middle. And he doesn't know which foot he is. He's that fucking good with both. He goes past you, and he's got the arrogance to just think, see you three, I'm going to go past all three of you and bury this, watch this. And he's forced his way. He's only an under 16, 15 years old. He's forced his way into the under 18 squad, and he's starting with the performances that he's had in pre-season. He's going to feature a lot for the 18s this year. And he might break through and be regular before Gomez does, just because of the size of him. Like I say, he's not big now. He's tall. He's probably taller than me now. But he's got a frame to fill into. And I think in a couple of years, like Danny Welbeck looked fucking malnourished when he was coming through. Now the guy's built like a fucking horse, innit? Have you seen the fucking muscle on him? He's
massive. He's massive, man. Like, when you just look at it, I'm excited, man, and I'm glad that we kept Pereira too, man. What a player he is. Like,
it shocked me how good he was playing as a number 8, as a real cultured centre mid.
He's different, man. The thing is, them Brazilians especially, that's a tough league in Brazil, man. Like, they're a bit nasty. They all stick their foot in if they need to. Do you know what I mean? So he can do that, but his composure on the ball, his range of passing with both feet, his vision, everything, he's different. And they've given him the number 15, so like you'd reckon he's gonna feature now, man, which is great. So like when I look at it, we got rid of a few midfielders, and people are like, oh, we need an extra, and we don't. Like, we got Pereira. I'm happy with that. I just think if we didn't
left hand side, isn't it?
But even if we didn't sign anyone else, man, just play Tony there. Like, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's not really not a problem, man. Because I'm looking at the squad and I'm thinking, if you got 2 players in each position, you can play Rashford and Tony on the left. You can play Mickey and Mata on the right. You can play them both in the middle too. You can play Jesse on the right. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the end of the world, man. And you can play Lukaku up front. You can play you can play Martial up front. You can play Rashford up front. And if Zlatan comes back, he can play up there as well. Like, the numbers aren't really that bad, man. And Jesse can play. I think Jesse's best position is down the middle in a number 8. I think Jesse's mustard in the middle, man. One touch, his movement, everything. I think number 8, like the top of a 4-3-3, is probably Jesse's best position. I think he's one of our great players. I love the guy. I think he's so good.
We played 2 up front, probably a similar... I'm not sure exactly what we played, because it was like a 6 at the back at times, but we played a sort of 3-5-2 against Chelsea last season at home, with Lingard and Rashford up front, and Ashley Young as left wing-back, and you're like, I thought he was going to get dicked. I thought he was going to get absolutely tatered. And then the pressure that... And this is the underrated thing about Jesse Lingard, that he really doesn't get the credit for. Just tearing down, and Rashford... tearing down, putting pressure on the defenders when they're in possession with the ball. That was fucking mint. And that alone is such an attribute. We forced Chelsea not to be able to play down the middle because we was running after him. And we forced Cahill to start just pinging it into channels. Fucking Eden Hazard's not going to win it in a channel when he's got Herrera all over him and he's got Antonio Valencia backing him up. He's not going to win fuck all against those two when it's coming in the air. If you play it to his feet, now you've got a different story because he's unbelievable with the ball at his feet. But when it's coming as a high ball from Cahill, fuck off. I'd fancy my chances against Hazard in the air.
Absolutely, man. I think that was a brilliant game, and that showed Jesse's just his quality and what we need him for, man. Like, every team we've always had a Ji-sung Park. We've always had Darren that came in and their job was just to press high, win the ball, and just play it simple. Man, Park used to do it. Champions League away from home, 4-5-1 G-Stone Park all the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
Get on their playmaker, make him fucking graft. Like just put someone under pressure. That's it. People can't quantify that as much as they can quantify a goal or an assist. So when they look at Jesse Lingard and they go, oh, he gets 3 assists and 2 goals a season, that's shit. It's not what he's there for. He's there for a whole other job.
Yes, he can run with the ball. He's a clever player. More often than not, he takes 2 touches, if that. Quick boom, and he's off into space. Like, I watched him come on the pitch. He started on the right. He was on the left. He was in the middle. He pops up. The guy, and he runs in behind as well, man. Like, he's different gravy. Obviously, he doesn't have the star quality that, like, Tony and Rashford have, so people get on his case. But you know what? His football brain's better than both of theirs. So, it's mad. Like, when I sit down, and where I'm sitting right now, in the Sir Alex Ferguson stand, literally right by the halfway line. So a lot of the time, he's on my wing, and you see his movement, and you look at his movement, and you look at Rashford's movement, stuff like that you don't see on TV. And a lot of the time, sometimes Rashford is like, he's just fidgeting. He doesn't know where to be. Off the ball, it's all like, you can see he's still learning the game. Whereas with Jesse, it's all, he just knows where he's going. He's just coming to the ball, popping it off, and then he's off.
Yeah, he's busy as fuck, mate. He's busy as fuck.
Comes back, and then he makes 2 runs, he'll make 3 runs. He doesn't stop moving. The guy he's different class, man.
Is that it then? Because you see a lot of the match-going fans that have got a real love for Jesse Lingard.
Yeah.
Some of it might be because it's more local. Definitely, we are definitely biased towards those local players, and I don't deny it, and I don't apologise for it. But is it the TV angles occasionally showing you following the ball rather than the player? Because I think that when you see what Jesse offers, there's got to be a reason for the disconnect between what some people think of.
They don't see Jesse, man. I think you have to be a proper footballing guy to see Jesse. Like, Pep would love him. Do you know what I mean? The way he plays, the way he moves and that. Like, literally, I think in a number 8, in like that Iniesta kind of role.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that's Jesse, man. Like, he's got it, man. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I've watched the guy. And the thing is, when you go to Old Trafford and you watch games, you start to see who really are the guys, man. Like, when I saw Eric Bailly play in person, I said, you know what, this guy's ridiculous. Like, he's got composure, athleticism, technique, everything you need in the game. First time I saw Juan Mata and I realised how good his first touch was. It's cool watching it on TV, but when you see it on the carpet at Old Trafford, you think this is a joke. Like, you're like man on and you're thinking he's under loads of pressure and he just rolls and he's gone and it's like, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? There's certain players, you have to see them in person and see what they do off the ball to realise how they get into the positions they get into to do what they do, man. Jesse hardly ever gives the ball away. His movement's great, and you ask anyone that's played against him, they won't like it because he don't stop running.
Do you know one matter yesterday when he pulled down that there was a ball that he pulled back to drop in for Lukaku.
Lukaku, he should have shot.
Yeah, he should have shot. Yeah, he tried to set Lukaku up. I couldn't have caught that ball with my hands better than he fucking touched it with his foot. It was unbelievable. The angle, the way he was running, the way the ball was coming, everything like that.
Just hooked it. But he does it every match at least twice. Like, when you watch him, every time the ball comes to him, it doesn't matter how fast it comes at him, he kills it instantly. And he does it on the run with the ball coming over his shoulder, and it's one of the hardest skills in the game. Like, the guy, he's too good. He's just too good. Everyone was like, oh, Jose's coming in, we're going to sell him. He come in and said, I ain't got a problem with Mourinho, I asked to leave. And Mourinho's philosophy is always, if someone asks to leave, you let them go. It's always been that. Same with Lukaku. He said that Mourinho called him as soon as he signed for Everton to wish him good luck. There was no problem, but he wanted to play. Jose didn't think he was ready, so he let him go. And now look at it. We got Matic. I'm dying. I think Chelsea fans, their phones will be off the hook for the whole season, mate. I'm telling you, what a signing. I was in tears. When I heard we were looking at Eric Dyer, I was like, no, please, just give me Matic instead. I'm not a fan of Eric Dyer.
I didn't understand when people was going all over Fabinho. I think Fabinho's a very good player, but when you've got the option of, as a fan from the outside, and you've got Fabinho, there's risk attached with every signing that you make as a team.
Absolutely.
Now, you can scout someone until your fucking eyes fall out, but you don't know how they respond to your instructions as a manager in a dressing room. These are the things that win football games. It's not about everything that happens with the ball. Sometimes it's those instructions, those little Ander Herrera on Hazard jobs. It's those the two Anzebe on Alexis Sanchez jobs. That's the thing that Mourinho's excellent at. So if Mourinho goes, my team needs a fucking X, and he's got the option of Fabinho, we've scouted loads, he looks really good, or this guy that I've worked with and won a championship with. It's no fucking brainer. If you can look at a problem and go, we need that, I've worked with that, that would fit in there really well, then you don't even think about the other guy that you've scouted loads. Because he knows how Matic responds to his words. He knows how he responds to the criticism. He knows how he responds to the challenges. What he's like on a good day, what he's like on a bad day. He knows way more about him than you can put in a scout report. It was a no fucking brainer for me once Matic was linked. So yep. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he's shown against
and he just
West Ham.
turned. And the thing is, what Mourinho said, he signs personalities. He doesn't sign players. And if you look at Mourinho's record, I saw something somewhere of the list of players that Jose signed for more than one club. And you look at the Ricardo Carvalhos that he brought to Chelsea, he brought to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I was going to say, his signings aren't actually amazing because he's got some stinkers. But I think most of his stinkers came at Chelsea. And I think if you look at the way Chelsea recruit, I think Abramovich puts his hand in the pot a lot there.
He does. Conte, you can tell Conte didn't want Matic to go, but he was allowed to leave. Do you know what I mean? Shevchenko was why Thingy left, Jose left, because Abramovich just gives him players. I mean, you can't tell me he wanted Falcao either, but he was giving him. Like, that's what happens at Chelsea. And now, apparently, the manager and Abramovich are at warheads again right now over money. So, that's how it is. But Jose knows what he needs, and he signs it. It's not always the luxury signing and the amazing signing that people want. He brought Matic back to Chelsea. He knows what he's getting from him. The geezer's just turned 29. He's not old. The only reason why I said Fabinho looks good is because he plays two positions, and we don't have cover for Tony, really. Do you know what I mean? But he's so bloody good and he never gets injured. It's a catch-22. Like, who do you bring in to play? You're better off playing Twanzebe or something because, to be honest...
for the one game he might get injured for.
Yeah, because you can't bring... The guy's a tank. Like, he just doesn't get hurt. Do you know what I mean? So, you can't bring in someone to play backup to him because they won't play. It's as simple as that. So, like, when I look at our squad... Like, I'm completely happy with it, man. I think one more attacker with a bit of star quality and we're fine. Even Perisic isn't a massive name. He's not going to sell many shirts, but he's mustard. Two-footed. He loves to beat a proper United player, man.
What if it was Bale?
The thing is with Gareth Bale, I like what he offers, but I think he's an arrogant prick and I don't like him. And, the team chemistry in the club now is the best I've ever seen it. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, we had... all the local lads, like the class of 92, but this is different. Like, we've got little cliques within the team, but as a whole, the unit's strong. We got the
I think you've got the Spanish lot, of which there's a lot.
But then you've got Bailly, who speaks Spanish, who's part of the Spanish group, part of the French lot with Lukaku and Pogba, and Jesse, and then Rashford. Do you know what I mean?
The Pogba lot is the academy players. Because he's still an academy player. When you see him in training, he's standing with the academy players. We did a bush cam. I was like, oh, check that out there, Pogba with the academy players. And then I caught myself, I was like, hang on, he's a fucking academy player. So you've got Pogba with Lingard. Lingard's good mates with Rashford. So Rashford's standing there. And Fosu Mensah and Tuanzebe, they're in the mixer as well. And like I said, then Lukaku's going to be in the mix over there with that lot. That's now his little clique. So there's pretty much two groups, but there's a lot of transcending between the two.
Exactly. And then obviously you've got the Spaniards with Eric Bailly in there, but then Bailly's floating over with Pogba as well, and then you got Andreas as well, and then Andreas and Rojo, Portuguese speaking, and that, and it's just everything's just close. You know what I'm saying? It's mad, and obviously
team spirit does look fucking good at the minute, and I think that some people get all fucking pent up about them dancing and shit. I don't give a fuck, man.
If they can all dance, man, I'm telling you. Listen, you watch the NFL, you watch the NBA. Have you seen fucking Russell Westbrook warming up on the court, like flipping, playing bowling balls and knocking people down and shit? They're messing around. Guy still got his headphones on. He's dancing around, and he's messing around with the fans. And LeBron's throwing chalk in the air. Let them. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Let them express themselves, man. They're human beings. You know what I mean? They're not robots. They complain that
if that's all you can pull up Pogba and Lingard on, they dance. Sweet. Back in the day, we used to have players getting fucking drunk and crashing cars. Like, how about we let them dance?
And turning up to games pissed, and then people complain that there's not enough connection between the fans and the players, but when they're dancing around with the fans and that, can't even celebrate in front of your own fucking fans, you're getting booked. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, they don't know what they want, mate. Like, let them guys live their lives. It's fine. As long as they train hard, which they clearly do. As soon as training's done, if they want to dance around after they have a shower, let them dance, man. Like, no one's getting hurt. Like, I think it's pathetic. I think all the old pundits and arseholes like Graham Souness that just like literally like I think he would die if he said something nice about us. You know what I
Well,
mean?
actually, he said about 3 things nice about us yesterday and didn't slag us off once, and I was like, oh, fuck it. Someone's going to have to piss test this cunt tonight.
Was sick. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because he did. Like, it hurts him. Like, when you look at Sky Sports, it's literally just Liverpool. Do you know what I'm saying? Flipping the Charlie Nicholas, all of them fucking... It's just fuck all of them, mate. Like, it's just so one-sided. It's unbelievable. And then 20 minutes into the game, they're talking about Lukaku. Like, oh, how do you think he's playing? We're fucking 20 minutes in. And they're like, oh, they're asking Henry to analyse his game. He's running off the ball. We're 20 minutes into a fucking game. We still got, like, what, 3/4 of the game left, and you're trying to analyse the striker's movement and talking shit. And he ends up with a brace. Could have had a hat-trick. And then it's all like, oh, so what now? Do you know what I mean?
We're going to have to say something nice. They've just won 4-0.
Won 4-0, and then even then, do you know what I'm saying? They're looking at certain things, and you know that Souness was looking for something. Do you know what I'm saying? And then they're like, yeah, but talking about the chance that they could have scored at the end of the half, they just had to find something. Like, it's pathetic, mate. And I just feel like the way we are now, the way Jose's built this team, because last season, he made us hard to beat. Everyone talks about the draws. Who cares? You're hard to beat. That's how you start. That's how you start every team. Make them hard to beat. Like, the whole outscoring teams don't work. Liverpool tried it, almost won the league, but they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? Man City always score loads of goals. You know what I mean? They scored loads of goals last season.
They're going to go on a tear again this season. They'll probably go 7 or 8 games again. Straight wins. But once the Champions League kicks in, that's when they fuck up.
They'll win by 4s and 5s as well. And then it won't count for anything. Do you know what I mean? You make your team hard to beat first and foremost, which Jose always does. And then you steamroll the teams. And the way we attacked yesterday was unbelievable. Like, even when we were defending, we were attacking. Like, Matic, if you look at Pogba's goal, Matic won the ball just inside our half, and within 3 passes, Pogba's got the ball in the back of the net. And our high pressing game is unbelievable as well. They get no rest on the ball whatsoever. We're pressing so high up. Lukaku presses. If Anders on, he's pressing. Pogba's pressing. The wide players come in and press. And Daly, Blind, I've never seen him play so high up the pitch. I don't know what was in his boots yesterday. Like, usually, like, he was literally... There was at one point he was at the back post and he hit a volley that just went over, that just dipped over. But the cross is coming from the right winger and Daily Blind's at the back post. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a different United team, man. It just feels like the United of old. Valencia's running down the line now for once instead of cutting back. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think that like the okay, no.
My backdrop just fell.
The penny has dropped at Old Trafford, 100%. 100% pennies dropped. Jose wanted us to attack, but before he got us attacking, he had to make sure that we had the defensive stability. We didn't have that number 6 that we needed. Herrera done a great job filling in last season, but Herrera's very good at passing forward and pressing the ball. So now, Matic is in. As I was saying to people, in the big games, Pogba will be given a free role in that number 10 position, and we'll play Herrera to press, and we'll play Matic to control the games. In the smaller games, we'll sacrifice Pogba further up the pitch to bring him back, and we'll play an extra attacker so we can smoke them. Why not? Do you know what I mean? Why not? Because
steamrolling teams is what I hoped we would get last season under Mourinho that we didn't get. Whereas we've started well, but it's a long fucking season. There's a lot left for us to go. Oh, have I just lost you?
No,
there we go. That's what we need to be doing. I'm going to wrap it up because I need to fix this. Oh, I've lost sound. Have you got... Is your sound off? Oh, there you go. I got it. Right, call it then. Where are we finishing?
We're winning the league, mate. We're winning it. And I called it last season. Fuck City. You know what I'm saying? Chelsea are going to do a Chelsea. Like, oh, mate, I think they're fucked. And you heard Conte's comment about, yeah, he doesn't want to do Mourinho. Well, guess what, mate? That's what's happening. Because they're not going to replace Matic. There is no replacement for Matic. Your replacement for Matic was Kante that you already have. Do you know what I'm saying? And the gas that was blowing out of his arse from the season at Leicester where they went on like he was the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah, he's a decent defensive midfielder, but come on. Like, hold your horses. Do you know what I mean? Like, they overcooked the whole Kante thing. And now, let's see what he can do on his own. Because we got the guy. We got Matic, man. Like,
Chelsea fans really fucking revised history fast. There was, he's finished. He didn't play much for us. He played 35 fucking games for you last year in your title-winning season.
My mates that support Chelsea said, listen, Matic's legs have gone. That's what they said to me. They said he's a good player. His legs hadn't gone. His heart had gone. He couldn't be fucked. He was a Jose player. playing under another manager in a different system he didn't really fancy. And now he's back playing. As he said, the manager just said, yo, go and do your job. He knows what it is. And he's come in and he's done that. That's one of the best midfield performances I've seen at Old Trafford since Paul Scholes. Like, who's performed like that? Pogba hasn't hit the heights that he can, and Pogba's already...
Yeah,
awesome.
I think Herrera's performance against Chelsea last year has got to be up there. But in terms of that job, as a player like that, we've not had that.
And controlling a game, only Scholesy controls games like that. Because even Carrick, when he passes forward, he doesn't control the game like Scholesy does. Like, he doesn't control the tempo. He's got the range, but it's not every other pass is into Carrick. When Scholesy was playing, it was give Scholes, he'll pop it off, Scholes on a half turn, give it back to him, boom, boom, boom. Matic was doing that all day. And then when they freed up Pogba, when they brought on Fellaini, Pogba was just in acres of space, looked like he was having loads of fun. And look at the goal, man. They were saying, Pogba doesn't score enough goals. Good luck, mate.
People just got put on fucking notice this weekend, I think.
Oh.
Anyway, thank you, mate. I'm going to wrap it up because I'm just holding this up with my head now.
No.
But yeah, this was good. Make sure you go and follow him. I'll stick his Twitter in the description below. And yeah, you got a big Facebook page as well, haven't you? Where you do loads of videos and shit. So I'll link that up as well. Anything you want to plug?
Nah, man. Just follow the Twitter, follow the Facebook, all of that, man. And obviously, there's loads of content coming up. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'll see you at the next game, man.
Nice one, mate. Enjoyed it. See you in a bit.